Yo,
What's up? What's up?
what up? What it do,
Shit, chilling. How you been, man?
bro? Good. Long overdue. Long overdue for a talk and a catch up with you, bro. That's
Right,
on
right.
me though.
So how you
That's
been
on
feeling,
me.
bro?
How about you? How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Just ready to talk about this U.S. versus the world shit. I'm mad that I missed it last week. I was a little bit under the weather. I am today too. My sinus is bothering me, but I couldn't miss it today, bro.
Bro, first of all, I'm hoping you feel better. I know what it feels like. A couple weeks ago, I was sick like a dog. And it was just going around. I'm alive. Well, I'm happy to see you alive and well. Hope you feel better.
Thanks. Thank you, bro.
Yo, so let me ask you this as we jump it off and keep it 100% all the way real. Noah Lyles is looking like as much people talk stuff, and KD said, "Get that brother some help." I mean, he looking kind of good right now.
I mean, that's 100. But my thing with Katie is like, I don't know why you even part of your mouth to say anything because you're sitting there watching them get fucked up, or even like before they even lost, bro. You seen them struggling. You didn't volunteer to play for this team.
That's true, bro. I mean, if you ain't out there, you ain't out there being a part of the solution, then you a part of the problem.
Right.
KD at home resting. He should be well rested. His ass got sent home early.
Early,
Early.
early, early,
And you got to say it like Freeway. Early.
early. And you not doing shit.
Nah, bro, you can't be running your mouth and talking, and then you at home. I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you. When he made the comments, I understood what he was saying, and regardless of if we have the most talented league in the world, we just if we don't just anoint the team with the best roster or the most talented roster in the NBA to championship every year, why would we turn around and be ignorant, dismissive, and just nominate uh the Denver Nuggets as the best team in the world when they didn't play the world? Yo, you played to win the game. So in order to call yourself the best, you got to go out there and earn it, regardless of how talented you are. Anybody, especially in basketball, bro, anybody can lose a game.
I mean, especially with the Denver Nuggets, if you take in consideration, the top two players are not American citizens.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jamal Murray and
Jokic.
I mean,
Right.
is it Jokic? Yeah, Jokic is not
Right.
American.
Right. Neither one of them are American citizens. People think Jamal Murray is because he's black or mixed, but he's not American citizen. So
What is he? What is he?
he's Canadian.
Oh shit, he Canadian?
He's Canadian. But either way, he's not an American citizen. So just even having the argument kind of contradicts itself in a way.
Right.
Because not everybody on that team is American. The team they faced, not everybody on that team was American either. So we can sit here and say that the best players in the world are American, but that's not necessarily true either because the top three players in the world right now, and you can put in any order that you want to put this in. We can argue until we blue in the face. Statistically, right now, are Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. Neither one of those three players are from the United States. Neither one of those players are even American citizens at this point. So again, it doesn't make sense.
I can't argue. I can't argue a point you make, bro. Um, my whole thing is like to call yourself world champions or the best in the world. To me, going along the lines of what you said, means that you're disrespecting the previous FIBA team that won it, and you're disrespecting the previous Olympic team that won it too. But by calling whoever won the NBA title the best team in the world, like no, like there's a chance, yes, that maybe the Denver Nuggets, even if you gave them their players and they would have played other league champions, maybe there's a chance to win it. But you got to go play the game and prove it.
Right. Right. And then even still, I mean, okay, so if you took that Denver Nuggets team, okay, we can easily say, all right, well, that team can beat any team in the world in a 7-game series. Okay, you can say that. But when you play against all these other teams against the world, you're going to have to take Jokic out of the situation because what is he going to do, play against his own team? What is America going to do? Play against his own team?
That's true.
Butter, we
That's
can
true.
say that. Butter, we can say that. And they would win. But you have to take all their foreign players out. Let's see what happens. Take all their non-American players off the Denver Nuggets right now and put them as teams in the United States that will beat them.
I can't. Butter. I want to agree with what my heart, because I'm an American, wants to agree with what Butter said. But I'm gonna say this to Butter. Like, so are we saying that any NBA team can beat any other league in the world team? And I don't believe that to be the case. Like, I think there's some teams that legitimately will lose to some good teams. It's just like, hell, the Denver Nuggets. Let me give a sorry. What's the last year's sorriest team that was playing? One of the sorrier teams. The Pacers.
Yeah, the Pacers weren't too good. They weren't too good. And all the teams last year that was traditionally sorry was good last year. So
let me see what you say. What do you say?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Yo, here's where I disagree with Butter. They don't come to the U.S. for the competition. They come to the U.S. for the money. That's where I disagree with him at, bro. Like, I feel like
the opportunity in some cases.
Yeah, like it's not about the competition anymore, because most of them, if they can get paid what they get paid and stay home and play, they'd rather stay home and play in their leagues to get paid what they get paid.
I mean, yeah, like, Luka was in the Europe League. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a kid, but clearly he's over here because he wants the bread. If he could stay home and make what he did here, he wouldn't be here. But I mean, I'm not going to just completely discredit what Butter is saying, because it's a fact that the NBA has the best competition. Just like it's a fact that Major League Baseball is the best league in the world for baseball. But if you take the Major League champion, and it's going to be the same situation,
and put him in the Japanese league,
even that, if you listen, we don't even got to go that far. If you take the Major League team, right, and play them against the Dominican national team, but the problem will be is that you'll have to take the Dominican players off or whatever Major League team, because there are so many of them. But the Dominican League team will fucking scrape them. Fact.
Butter, bro. Hey, you might have to message me, bro. I'm gonna have to send you a link for you to get on here, because you're making some valid points, bro. But I'm just saying that everything you're saying is also true. But look at this. As much as you say our older players are going over there, guess where we're stealing all our new top talent from? Overseas. Embiid, overseas. Giannis, overseas. Doncic, overseas. Jokic, overseas. Murray, overseas. And it's just continuing to grow. What's the young dudes on the Thunder? The two.
Yes, what's his name? Shy or whatever the fuck his name
is? Yeah, him. Oh, Alexander, I believe, is overseas.
Yes, he's from Canada. He's from Canada. It's a lot. It's a lot now. I mean, like I said, we have more bulk talent, but it's slow. It's slow now. It's definitely slow for that. But
I believe the world's caught up to us, bro. That's just my view. It happened with baseball. We were cocky. We were arrogant with baseball. Then those Spanish players down in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and other places, Japan started catching up to us in baseball. And track, we used to be so arrogant and cocky in track, and then these other countries slowly but surely start.
Jamaica definitely caught up.
You say what?
Jamaica definitely caught up long time ago.
Jamaica definitely caught it to a point and passed us
for a long time. Till now.
I just feel that our cockiness, our feeling of being the originators, makes us become complacent, and as we become complacent, these people are trying even much harder to make Butter's point, trying even harder to make it to league to support their family, but they're not taking it as a joke. They don't think it's expected, so they go out there and work hard. Bro, the first player we just drafted in this NBA draft, a foreigner.
Right. the thing about it is too that nobody is even like speaking about, and it's kind of like the elephant in the room on that situation. The FIBA rules are not the same as NBA rules. They're not the same. They're not the same. Uh, they should have learned that in the early 2000s when they was getting fucked up real bad. They was getting fucked up. They was even in rap songs. Why do Team USA keep getting blowed out? And these teams had some heat on them. These teams with Tim Duncan, which is kind of borderline cheating, but that's another story. But these teams had a little bit of firepower on them, and they was out there getting fucked up until they really started getting like real like shooters and big man shooters and things like that. You can't compete. Today, I think really is like the nail in the coffin on Dude's statement when he said about that United States and what he said about the NBA players. The first time they lost, his point was valid. Now the nail is in the coffin because I want anybody watching this or anybody listening to what I'm saying right now, I'm going to give you one free one. Name one person that plays on that German team besides Schroeder.
No one knows. If Schroeder was cooking. All those dudes on the USA team, everybody would consider better and higher profile players than Schroeder, and he was cooking them.
Cooking their ass. Cooking them. And it's something, listen, and let's not make no mistake. People are like, oh, well, that's not the best players in the NBA. Okay, you may be telling the truth on that, but they ain't no slouches. Ant-Man is serious. Ant-Man is way better than Schroeder. Way better than him.
Bro, let's name the top 5 non-US players in the NBA. Can you think of them? Top 5 US players, not non, but US players in the NBA. Where we gonna go? KD,
Booker, Ja Morant,
Lillard,
Ja Morant,
Steph.
Yeah, there it is. That's the top 5 right there.
Hey, guess what? None of those dudes we named, as bad as they was, guess where their asses was all at?
The crib. We forgot about Tatum.
Oh, Tatum? Guess where he was? Oh, wait, did he make it to? No, they didn't make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
At home.
But yeah, I think Tatum will probably be better than Ja Morant.
I would put Tatum above Morant, but all of those people we named was at home.
Watching the shit.
Watching it.
So, it's on them. If you want to see that shit go down, that's on you. You watch it go down. But see, you know what it really is, especially like players like KD. Like I said, I'm going to get back on his ass again. Bro, I don't even know why you said anything. Because you know good and well, it has to be in your contract at this point in your career that you can't even do that. Because okay, I'm the Suns, and you do that, I'm not paying you. I ain't paying you because your ass is going to get broke up. Let's speak on another thing, too. That's a factual statement. The United States does not have no kind of big man play. All right, AD. Same situation. If you are the Los Angeles Lakers and he does anything on the summertime, if he rides a bicycle, if he even picks up too sharp of a fork, that contract got to be voided because he's going to get hurt. Period.
We saw some might call USA basketball NBA soft.
It is.
Spoiled. Soft.
It is.
I don't know, bro. I've been watching it, and don't get me wrong, I do feel overall, talent-wise, NBA best collective of talent, right? Best in the world collective of talent. But here's the difference. It's not the collective that's running around calling themselves NBA champs. It's the Denver Nuggets. So with that being said, you also have to I will feel as confident as you can be. There are some teams out there who probably played together longer, more organized, could be healthy at the right time. That if you took the Denver Nuggets and said, hey, go play in this whole overseas tournament, that they probably could have got sent home against some other teams
They
that played in that
would.
tournament.
They would, because they playing by FIBA rules. That's not NBA rules. That little bullshit that you be getting them touch fouls and shit like that. You're not getting that fuck shit. You're not getting that. They're not gonna let you just do all that shit. They actually call travel, things like that. And NBA players is not used to that shit. As Americans, we want to see big high scoring games. We want to see slam dunks. We want to see 3-pointers. We want, even if we go to a different sport, we go to baseball. We want to see home runs. That's what we want to see. So they're going to do whatever to adjust the rules to make that happen. Nobody wants to see 80-point games. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see San Antonio win. Nobody.
It's hard, bro. It's very I don't think it's hard unless you're talking about for the fact of just America actually owning up to the fact of that, as dominant as we like to become or think that we are, as we like to feel, because the American way is to tell yourself that you're the best in the world. There's no place greater. There's no better education system. There's no better free market. There's no better none of that. And so that's what we're conditioned to feel and to believe. And until you put the data in front of us and then you say education wise and where we stand. So you sit there and say as far as free market and where we stand, and different things like that that add up. And then it becomes a humbling, or it should be a humbling and eye-opening approach to like, yo, we become greedy. We're the most greediest country in the world. We're the most taken for granted, one of the most cockiest, one of the most ignorant countries in the world because of the fact that we're limited on other countries and other places that we share borders with. We don't always get to see and experience what else is going on in the world, good or bad.
Right. I mean, and that, that has to do with a lot of, propaganda. Every country has propaganda.
That's true.
This country has an agenda. You know what I'm saying? Every country wants you to think a certain way, do a certain thing, have certain morals and values and things like that. And if that's not the type of person that you are, then you're an outcast. You know what I'm saying? Or you're weird or whatever.
It's indoctrination. I'm sure in Russia, they Russians or the Chinese are sitting there saying like, we're the best. We're the best in the world. Right. Our economy is the best, or our rights, our government, our system is the best, and they indoctrinate their people with it. And then you become so caught up in this pride or this respect or this love towards your country that we choose to ignore it. Like, how many people were like, yo, America is the best country in the world, but we got all these other issues. And every country's got its own issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to be straight up bashing America, but I like to be a realist.
Right. And to your point, from birth, well, not really from birth, but school, when they make you say the Pledge of Allegiance and all that shit, that's what it is beating in your head that you have to do whatever you have to do to protect this country because this country is the best and you owe it to America because people have died for you to be here. That's what they tell you verbatim. You feel me? So yes, we are taught that anybody that's trying to come here is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So
I can agree with that. It's manipulation, indoctrination. Hey, bro, we do it. We're both realists. We indoctrinate, along as with the government doing it. We indoctrinate ourselves. Yes. We program ourselves. We manipulate ourselves. We follow along with everybody else with these certain notions. Bro, listen, I didn't know. I was ignorant. I thought that Scarface, the movie, like, that was the thing to do. You think you're trained to think by our own conditioning that Big Meech was a plus, and he was the victim. We do it within our own culture. Mm-hmm. We teach ourselves because we're like, yo, they were fighting against the system. No, bro, they weren't fighting the system. They were being used by the system.
They were being used by the system, and they were capitalizing on their own people. Yeah. Facts. But see, we're also trained culturally that the police are bad. And I'm not saying they're good or bad, because listen, that's another conversation. But we are culturally taught that we don't fuck with them. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever is the opposition to them is looked upon as a hero. You feel me? And you've been told your whole life, don't tattletale. Snitches get stitches, and so on and so forth. So of course we're gonna look up to these people, as our idols.
That's 100%. That's it's weird because when I was a kid, when we were kids, I just remember in school, like one of the top things was like either a policeman, a doctor, a lawyer, or a teacher, or a firefighter. Those are like the career choices as kids when you don't know much about the world that you want to think. Like you want to ride in the police car, get to hear the sirens, or you want to go see the fire station, or you just want to be these certain professions. And as time has gone on, and with rightful reasons to rightful things that have happened in history to kind of give examples of why you start to turn away from being police. I mean, me and you shared an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shared an experience. And that was disheartening, bro. Especially young, not knowing and naive. The first thing goes to my mind, like, well, did we do something wrong?
Right, and ain't do shit.
We ain't do shit.
Shit.
But you wonder about it. But it goes beyond that because my mother didn't teach me. My parents didn't teach me to hate the police.
Right.
They also taught me how to survive, not just the police, but just any racist, bias, prejudice, ignorant. They still, hell, as much as they taught me how to survive if you get whatever about a police, they also taught me how to survive amongst niggas.
That's the most danger to you, for real, is your own community. Like I said, if something will happen to you, it's gonna more than likely happen to your own community.
Your own community, bro. I've seen in high school, bro. There's a reason why in high school we've experienced trauma so early. We've seen, these are guys that keeping it still with sports. I played sports with guys I've known since little kids. There are literally guys I've played on the North Side Knights with, and we all played together. That at some point in time they beefing and one of them killing the other one. But we didn't all roll in the back of coach's truck to the game. We didn't all sat there, been getting from the same Gatorade bottle, getting water or Gatorade squirted in our mouth, sharing equipment, jerseys, all this other stuff, walking home from practice together. And then these fools, when a matter of 2 or 3 years, still in high school, was killing each other.
Right.
Played junior. Some of these dudes have played junior high together.
Listen, some of these motherfuckers that know each other since they was babies, and they parents went to Ram together. Most of them. I'm not gonna say their names.
Yeah,
bro. So,
bro, I fear. I only have a fear of the police when I interact with them. And it's not even sometimes a fear. I just go into this mode, survival mode, and I'm just trying to make a home. I carry that same thing when I would go to the City Fest. I want to enjoy myself, but I just wanted to make it home. The skate connection. I wanted to enjoy myself, but I just wanted to make it home. Parties. I want to enjoy myself, get on females like the next person when we was going through it, bro. But there was always that fear of, is something gonna pop off? Can we make a home? Market Street in our 20s after the club. I want to go kick it like everybody else at the next spot afterwards, or go ride up and down the street or the Taco Bell parking lot. But shit popping off. I just want to make it back home.
Right. I think, back in those days, like the skate connection days and the silver dollar and the Mustang days, like a lot of shit was happening, but the availability of weapons was not like how it is now. I'm not gonna sit here and say, because I always get into it with people about like, oh, back in the day things were so good. Bullshit. I remember the 90s. Your ass would get smoked in a fucking second, quicker than you will now. But the availability of guns to younger people is not the same now.
Oh, the access is just way more access now.
Yes,
Way
yes.
more
The
access
access is easier. It's easier. I didn't really have access to a gun till I was probably close to being grown. You know what I'm saying? Where I could really like actually get my hand on the shoot. And this is when I stayed in Briar Hill. So I didn't really even have a gun put in my hand until I was like 17, 18. And I know y'all like, man, damn, shit, that's young too. Man, these motherfuckers got guns 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old and shooting shit.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
was
saying?
19. And that was an army. I was 19 and that was an army. Put it in my hands.
Mhm. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like every day, it's like people are getting shot. And I'm 41 years old and my friends are still getting shot and killed. Rest in peace to Austin Mendenhall. He's one of the first people I met when I moved to Youngstown from Pennsylvania. I remember when him and his mom used to stay down on Otis because my I got a brother on my father's side named Dana. They used to stay down there and shit. So their house used to be always real nice and shit. I remember I can't remember if they stayed right next door to they call him Jim Bean and Will. Their house was nice as fuck too. They stayed right next door to him. But rest in peace to him. He was a cool dude. He was a cool dude. That was fucked up.
That's crowd. I've crazy. Uh, I grew up, and we both did. We went to school, and we knew some talented kids. Some of them came from not bad homes. Some of them came from decent homes. I'll say his name without saying his last name. I remember a guy we went to junior high with that got in trouble about high school. Who Kahoot. Short, probably was never gonna make it to the NBA, but Kahoot was a pretty decent athlete. William. We ain't gonna say his last name, but his mother was a prominent figure in our junior high world. And he could hoop his butt off, just like but them streets was calling. Those influences was calling, that wanting to fit in, wanting to get tired of getting picked on or bullied and having to prove myself because y'all judge me based off of y'all judge him based off of who his mother was and what she did. And so it was always harder. It was other kids that I seen that was like, yo, this cat is talented, like mad talent. I remember, and I'm gonna say his name because I've talked about him on other podcasts. Jamie and Corey Melton was two of the most athletic dudes I've ever met in my life. Both of them was like in elementary and junior high, built like grown ass men, super
Yeah.
dominant. But there was the same dudes. They scrap all the time. They sit there get in trouble and different things like that. The streets kept calling.
Yeah, but the first situation that you talked about, I'm not gonna speak on his name. He's actually the same exact age as me, and I've known him and the situation that he got into. I was very, very, very close to that situation. We'll just say,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
with him, he's not. I mean, I'm not disrespecting him because listen, there's people that's watching this. That's his family. Period. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to disrespect him. I don't like what he did, but he's not from the streets. His
Yeah.
parents did not raise him like that.
Right.
Parents did not raise him like that. He
Agreed.
never listen. He never wanted for anything. For
Agreed.
anything. For anything. Listen. He don't listen. He don't know what a free lunch is. He don't know what a roach is. He don't know what poverty is. He don't know what Okie shoes is. He don't know what holes in his clothes is. He don't know nothing about not being best dressed because he was best dressed every motherfucking year. For every year.
Almost. Somebody else who came from that whatever case beat him out a couple times.
Listen. You right.
And I'm gonna say his name because that's the homie too. Lil Walt is
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But some of this can be based on popularity. You know what I'm saying? Because this cat stayed fresh. House was listen. He from Selma. If anybody that's from the north side, you know anything about Selma Street. If your ass is from Selma, Your people got bread. Period. So with him, I never understood why he did that because it wasn't necessary. What you did, you could have probably got. You probably could
Yeah,
have told your parents to give it to you for Christmas, and you probably would have got it. And if not, they would have gave you half of it. And if they wouldn't have gave it to you, then if you would have said, "Mom, let me get that for graduation," you would have got it. Fact. Fact.
bro, that's a real statement. I don't have anything to disagree with you on that. But that's why he was like, again, no disrespect to him, but that's why he was a perfect example for the statement because he didn't have to. I don't think any. How about this? Let me be fair. I don't think, but realistic. Nobody has to, but the circumstances were in place that he for sure didn't have to make those choices.
And then listen, he wasn't in the street. Never. He did that showing off. Fact. And anybody that was there that's gonna tell you the same thing. He did that show. We still was in school. It wasn't like, all right, we got out of school. This nigga was hustling and bopping and shit. No. After school, he was playing basketball. How I know? Because I was there.
Yeah,
Me too. Shit, me too.
yeah,
So,
bro. Him and his cousin, and I ain't gonna say his cousin name, but I'm gonna say his last name Miller. He just live up the street from me. They come down to my crib when I lived on Brookline. We be back there hoping, and anybody that know me knows you could tell I played football. I was that dude that you could tell he really a football player and not a hooper. I mean, of
right.
course, from back in the day, we're riding up around your way. Me and Vivo be on their bikes, and Vivo used to go to anybody's backyard and
Anybody, that's all he wanted to do. Yeah, what do
that's all he want to do is hoop. But yeah, man. I mean, so it's the best way I could put it is the environment helps create the environment helps put the distractions around you, but there's still opportunity, and there's still not everybody in that environment is lost, and everybody's struggles is the same, and it behooves you to say just because you're from Youngstown that you grew up with the most horrible hardship life ever, because that's a I think misnomer is the right word. That's a misnomer. That's not true.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, some people, you know what I'm saying? I grew up pretty rough. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean, and I grew up, I grew up in the hood and shit, and I hung with them. But they knew, and I knew that I was different. You know what I'm saying? You can hang
Yeah.
around with us, you can hustle with us, you can smoke with us, but they knew I was different. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I should go to school. Why should I not go to school where that's where all the females at and that's where all the fun's at? I don't want to skip school and be around you motherfuckers all day. Think
Bro.
about it. Think about it.
So let me ask you this: What? When was it? And I hate that they hijacked this word, but when was it for you in life you traveled some, and you've gone to different places and things like that. But when did you get your awakening or coming out of that, for lack of a better word, and people can get on me for it, and I own it, but lack of nigga thought.
Okay. So if anybody really like personally know me, they know that I used to kick it real hard. Real hard. Like a hardcore alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? It's been almost 6 years since I had a drink and shit like that. So it was for years and years and years. I was just going hard. So when you're always fucked up, you high shit, you in the days. You somewhere else, I used to think I was something that I wasn't. I would be so fucked up that for years I didn't even realize I was a bum as a nigga. So, once my mind got clear and started realizing, started seeing what's like really like going on and how it really is and who I really am, because there's still people that don't know who they are. It's people out on the streets right now in Fetty right now that don't even know they fiends. For real. So once I did that and I had a clear mind, you know what I'm saying? I started seeing shit differently. You know what I'm saying? I started stop doing some of the things that I used to do. I stopped hanging with people I used to hang with. I started realizing like the only reason why I used to hang with you is because I used to do the shit that you do. Now that I don't do the shit that you do, I don't even like you. I
He
don't
said, I don't
even
even
like
like you.
Listen, I don't listen. I got friends I ain't spoke to in years now, and the reason why I ain't spoke to them is because they still doing that shit that they used to be doing. And I realized that we weren't really friends. We weren't really friends. You're just a motherfucker I used to be around kicking it with. And now that I see you for who you is, your ass is weird.
No, I can wholeheartedly agree with that. It took or understand where you're coming from with that. My circle did change as I became enlightened or woke or open or just more observant. I took a step back. I started listening and more than just an experiencing, listening and experiencing. And my circle started to change as I got more out there in the world. And I used to, I'm not gonna lie, when I first moved to Columbus from Youngstown, my whole mentality was like, yo, these dudes are soft as hell. Da 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 da, all the usual BS and stuff. And I used to have this thought process because I moved to Columbus and all I experienced in Columbus was opportunity, like jobs, like crazy, all these different things, especially back in the early 2000s. So your mind state goes to is like, bro, like these dudes I'm seeing growing up in 2-parent homes and got their parents, both their parents got jobs and they're in the suburbs, not the projects, but in suburbs. But they watching BET and running around wanting to be gangster. And that was like my first experience. And it was like it's levels to it. So you start to see that, and then you as you continuously learn and experience the world, and then I meet different people, and they're like, "Yo, why are you a Democrat?" Because I used to be like, "Yo, I'm voting for just whatever was a popular thing Black people were saying," and then you really go back and learn more in your history that besides what they teach you in school and civics and in Western humanities or history, that like, yo, like Dr. Martin Luther King was a Republican. There were other different people who was this. And then you learn more about you learn history, and not just what they want to teach you. You learn the true story about Rosa Parks in the bus. You learn so much more, and then you take a step back and you're like, bro, like the trauma is real, what our people have experienced. But so is the conditioning. So was the constantly stuck condition waiting for a handout, waiting for someone else to fix it, waiting or continually being pissed off about something that they're not going to change because it's giving them a leg up. And they don't want to change it because the system works for them. So waiting for them to fix the fuck up that gave them a leg up, you wasting your time.
Right, because we're gonna give away a free advantage.
Yeah, we're gonna give away a free advantage. And so it's never from the standpoint of like forgetting who you are or what you came from or what was done. It was understanding like, all right, this shit happened. What am I gonna do now? It's like it's almost like that mind state where your parents weren't the greatest and they didn't teach you the greatest things, right? And it's easy for someone to go and say, yo, I inherited this behavior and this condition and this way of thinking and thinking that it's okay to be on welfare and it's okay to be and taking accountability, taking responsibility, and started making me be like, yo, like I have to now that I'm aware, I'm not ignorant to it no more. I have to change it for me. I have to it's easier to fall back on those excuses and say, bro, I only know this because this is my parents told me. I only know this because this is what I've seen people in my neighborhood doing. But we know inherently what's right and wrong.
Right. Facts. That's true. And just because somebody taught your mama some shit, or just because somebody taught your daddy some shit, that don't mean that is right. It don't. And like and the proof of that is like every time a person be like, man, I hit you with one with the 90s. Okay, so we'll say that because that's gonna be back in the day short term. So back in the day short term, we know that the 90s was fucked up. But if we want to talk about what our parents be saying about when they grew up, motherfucker, you talking about Jim Crow.
Yeah.
And if not that, you talking about segregation. Which one?
Yeah.
Which one? And then anybody that think that things were better when it was segregation, I'm not gonna say like there's something wrong with you or nothing like that. You don't know. I'm telling you because my mom went to a segregated school, and so did her mother. Most people are from up here. If you talk to anybody that really lived in the South, they're gonna tell you that shit wasn't sweet. They wasn't out there fighting to get it integrated for nothing. It wasn't fair.
Okay, let me say this to add on what you just said. Let me add to that. Agreeing with you. The treatment, the ordeal wasn't fair. It wasn't right. It was hell. The direction and what it was, the mind state of what it was creating as they were going through that struggle was going to turn out to be a great thing. But going through that process was hard. Going through that process was painful, was struggling, was just, so I get it. Two things can be true. Getting out of segregation fucked us up in so many ways, as well as it gave us opportunities and advantages.
Right, because okay, if you segregate it, right, there's no way that they're going to distribute the resources evenly.
Right.
They're not going to do that, especially when all of Congress, all of Senate, the president, everything that has anything to do with politics is white. So that means that's on their side. And you think they're going to distribute shit to you and you want to be
Bro, we're not giving up the leg up.
No, you don't. No. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. That's not fair all the way around.
No, it's not.
They're not going to do that. They're not. So it's just crazy.
It is, bro. My thought process has changed. Some people think that I'm against my people. It's not that I'm never against my people. I'm just at the point like, okay, we know what they did. We know what was done. I mean, I say they did. We know what was done. We are starting to understand how they do it and why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit here and keep crying and complaining about it? Or are we going to shift our energy, our focus in to stop complaining about it and start taking things into our hand and utilizing what little bit of resources we did get, what little bit of access we did get, what little bit of, and even sometimes immense power that we do gain, and making the best of it. I hate when I hear people say like, yo, we control, our money matters, our voice matters, we control this much and such of the economy and whatever the case. Like, no, you don't control it because you still give it to them. The only way you control it is if that the resources that they need, you possess. You can't be like, I'm gonna take the black dollar away when you still need to eat, and they own 98% of the grocery stores in the world, and most of y'all don't know how to farm. When they own all the companies that make guns, you still need arms. You still need to bear arms to protect yourself. When they own most of the companies, majority, 80-something% of the companies that we work in places that we work at, and they're the owners of it. You need to have a plan. You can't just be like, yo, we're going to take our money away because we don't have the access and we haven't collected the resources. You know what we put our money into? Entertainment, a lot of it entertainment things instead of resource things. Where there's not enough black farmers, there's not enough black industrialists, there's not enough of these things to position ourselves to create infrastructure to position yourself to take that stand you want to take to really truly show off the power you have, which is your money. Again, how long does the money stay in the hood or stay in the black community when it's made? It's what, not even 15 minutes, is it?
I don't know the exact stat.
I think they say like money leaves the black community within 15 minutes of somebody getting their check and everywhere there's black people, everywhere they spend a check is out of the hood, that neighborhood, that community within 15 minutes. The Asians, the money circulates is in there for like almost like a week. Same thing with Hispanics.
Well, I don't know why with the Hispanics, but I know the Asians don't really believe in banks or like that. So it's
Yeah.
kind of easy. It's kind of easy for that. But you know what
But
I'm saying? They put all their money in
their own neighborhoods, their own grocery stores, their markets. We call them markets. They do that. I mean, you've been to New York before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go to New York, like you'll see like there's, or not just New York, different places, they'll have a Chinatown or whatever the case, and they'll go there and they'll shop in those communities. Hell, you got Asians that are still born in America that will still only buy Toyota or Honda.
That's true. I mean, but they kind of got a head start on that. They kind of got a couple. They got a couple crutches with that. A couple, quite a few, quite a few. The tax situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy, you know what I'm saying, to get to accumulate those things when you don't have to pay taxes.
Bro, if you can manipulate the system and constantly collect welfare, get other type of government benefits, but don't want to understand and utilize it to sit there and take advantage of the starting a business or other type of grants and other things going along, at what point do we sit there and say that's on us?
But let's look though, it's not because listen, not only here in other countries too, they give preferential treatment for foreigners, no matter what race they are.
Yeah, of course.
And they're not gonna give it to you. They're not gonna give it to you. And the reason why is because you was born here.
Right.
Any person that was born from another country.
Fair. I'm just talking about that's just one avenue of it, not focusing on the immigration part. Because we grew up in Youngstown, we see how they was with big. Let me not throw it under the bus, with certain corner stores or whatever. Everywhere they come in and they just switch the ownership of it to another family member's name, so they can still take advantage of the tax situation. Right. I get that part, but there are other avenues and other access and other monies out there and other opportunities that don't just go to foreigners that are there available. The best thing to do with the truth is to put it right there in front of your face. Put it in books and put it there, because most people aren't going to go search for it. They just want to be told it.
I think the immigration thing has a whole lot to do with it too, but on a different scale.
Yeah, on a different thing.
Listen, okay, so do you realize like the part of the reason why, listen, the biggest reason why the black population is not really growing is because they're not letting black immigrants come. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
That's why. That's why. If they would let black immigrants come at the same exact rate that they would let whites, the same amount, I'm telling you, it would be way more black people. They give preferential treatment to certain countries with immigration, and that's a fact. Look at that.
Right. Okay. Well, how about this? Agreeing with what you said. We'll take Columbus, for example. Majority of, I don't want to say majority, I'll say half. Let's say half of the black establishments, aka late night places that are, you would think are black owned or black frequent, are not owned by blacks. The Somalians, the Nigerians have basically utilized said programs and said opportunities that you have talked about, and they flipped it and they made it work for them. Not only that, but I've also seen, it's hard because I've also seen blacks who are from here who have just taken the opportunity, who are natural born citizen black Americans who have taken the opportunity and said, yo, there's money out there. You just got to go look for it. There's opportunity, there's grants, there's business grants. There are different things that are available to us. But because what'd you say?
They're hard to get.
Not all of them. Some of them people will tell you, like, bro, just go. People don't apply for them. Don't take advantage of them.
But look, though, any race of people that's immigrant in the United States, right? Even though this contradicts what I just said, but you just said it. The Nigerians and the Somalians, you're seeing them get loans and grants. It's no fucking different then the same exact fucking thing about the Arabs and the Asians getting stores. They give them to them because they're coming from another country. This
Yes,
country was
but there
founded
are
on
there are
immigration.
chances and opportunities and
But
money
listen,
available to those
but
that
listen,
are also from
I,
here. We just
I'm
don't
agreeing.
know.
I'm agreeing with you. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Those same exact loans that they are getting, the same clubs that they are getting, is the same loan that they are getting for the stores here. It's the same exact loan. There's no different. They're going to give it to them every time, and you don't qualify for that loan. You don't. They're not going to give it to you. They're getting it because they're immigrants to the United States. They're doing it to help them.
Yeah,
It's set up like that for them.
but their community. Okay, my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We don't practice, facilitate, designate, or care overall as Americans. But even within our community, definitely anymore within the Black community, the understanding of community.
Mm-hmm.
When those said people who come from overseas, they get embraced by their community takes them and shows them and also educates them to the opportunities that are there for them.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who are doing it because I won't disrespect, because there probably are people who's going to see this that actually try to take the time out to educate and showcase and show people that there are things that are available to you. But we don't practice it across the board, the understanding of community. It's more about for self. I got mines. Me and mines is okay. We good over here. And that hinders us because we don't have that community mind state, or we lack it, or more than way more, we lack it, or we lack the understanding of access of those willing to share the access, because they fall into the America first. America's attitude is me and mine's first, right? And so because we're natural born American citizens, and because we still deal with our own racist issues, but we don't deal with some of the other stuff, we think, act, and have picked up the characteristics of the man mentality. But it doesn't bode well for us because the system has so many things in place to make it harder for us. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But listen, but this is the thing. It's not just like that in the Black community. It's not just like that. And to prove what I'm saying to you, go to that. Well, you don't live down here no more. But look at the stores, the corner stores in Niles. Look at the corner stores in Girard. Look at the corner stores. Listen, they're still owned by foreigners because white people don't have access to those loans neither. You
I
know why?
agree with you. That's why I said it. But that's the American that we picked up, the American mentality.
Yeah.
The government doesn't have to hide it. They put there's money out there, but the American mentality is, and we are in love with convenience. We are in love with the easy of access. I don't really want to have to work hard for it. Like, yo, if there was money available, why you didn't tell me? Why you ain't show me instead of somebody going and passing it on like they do, the foreigners do,
Yeah.
or us being able to go look for it ourselves.
Well, I can agree. But what I think is, why don't they teach us economics and shit like that in school? Was that part of our curriculum in the inner city? No.
Because the system is it needs only way for the system to function is good versus evil. You need your failures, you need your fuck ups, you need your wrongdoers, you need your cancer, you need your drugs in order for our system, our economy to function.
Mm-hmm.
It's hence why I just was talking to some coworkers and they were talking about the whole slavery thing. I love when people have conversations with me thinking that I don't understand how it went. And I'm like, bro, it's not like all of a sudden Northerners was like, Northern whites was like, yo, this slavery thing is bad. This is wrong. What we're doing, what's going on is just horrendous. No, it was Yo, in order for this thing we're trying to push with this capitalism thing to work, those in the South can't continue to have free labor. It's fucking it all up. It was about money. The world's motivation forever, whenever, always, as if, it's always going to be money motivated. Money changing. Money makes the world go round.
Right. Everything is about that.
Yeah.
Everything.
And so that's the only reason they ended slavery. So let's not kid ourselves. There was still hate for slaves. So I hate when people was like, yo, what? Because they hated for slaves or whatever case. No, they still disliked, hated the slaves, and had no love for them. Not all. We'll say 80%, 85% of them. But they also didn't want to give up their free labor.
Right. Why would you work? You don't have to. This motherfucker been doing this shit for years.
Yeah, if it was just about the simple fact of keeping
black people into doing it again after that.
Yeah, if it was just about the fact of not wanting to give a free labor, had nothing to do with color, then the motherfuckers would have been sitting there kidnapping, stealing, keeping, enslaving, and not just indenture serving white folks and the Indians and everybody else that they passed up on, including even the Asians at one point in time. If it was not about race and it was just about the fact of the labor cost, no, it was still about race as well as about protecting their investments, which was slavery.
Right, but what you were saying earlier, listen, I don't know if you know or not, or maybe you ain't got no family from the South, but bro, there's a lot of black people that know how to farm. Don't get it fucked up, man.
You said a lot of black people what?
That know how to farm, especially older.
Oh no, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying,
but that's not all her family, all the motherfuckers know how.
Yeah, but that's not the majority of black Americans.
It depends on where you're talking about, where they from.
Yeah, but that's overall. Overall, if we want to go to if you go to Alabama, hell, there's black farmers in Michigan. If you want to go, so black farmers exist. Virginia. Yes. Black farmers do exist.
Right.
But when you're saying it's like 20%.
Well, I mean, we don't have the land to do it. We don't
the land, the want or the know-how to do that.
Right.
Bro, how many people? It's a lot of black people right now. The only thing they know about farming that got interested in farming, I'm gonna give you this. It went from 20% to 30% because they can grow weed. And they learned about growing weed and they trying to capitalize off of it. And it's hard to understand. I didn't know it. I just happened to work at a spot that gave me the opportunity to see what's going on besides what I know in my community about agriculture and the amount of money that's involved in it.
Yeah, it's big money in it. But truthfully though, I have to kind of contradict what I said. Most people, whether if they know how to do it or not, can't do it. And the taller you is, the harder it is. I wouldn't do that shit. Especially not people. I wouldn't do it. I don't give a fuck how much you pay me.
Yo, so before we end this, let's talk about old girl you wanted to talk about. Was she Nigerian?
Oh, the girl that got hit with the brick.
Hit with the brick. I don't even think you meant to rhyme that.
Hit with the brick. Well, I'm just gonna give my opinion on this situation. Okay, so what happened to her was completely fucked up. That shit was completely fucked up, and that motherfucker who did that shit, whatever happened to him, as a consequence, he definitely deserved it. In my opinion, he definitely deserves to go to prison. And he's the typical hoe ass motherfucker. He's the prototypical hoe ass.
Was it a brother that did it?
Yes. But that depends on what you consider. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna break it down to about how I feel about the whole situation. Okay, so like I said, that shit was fucked up. What happened to her? He shouldn't have did that shit. His reason for doing it was the weakest reason ever. I have heard backlash from people saying that, the day before she hit somebody, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck. You don't hit Everybody with
That
no
don't
fucking
justify no bullshit.
no. That don't justify no bullshit, especially not hitting no female with no fucking brick, dog. No matter what. You don't you don't do that. But that's fucked up. But the second part of that story is where I'm a little bit different. Okay. So now as you asked me about is it being a brother, it just depends on like what you consider a brother. Are you talking about an African American? Are you talking about a person of African descent? Are you talking about a brown person, black person, what? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, from my understanding, though both of them, and this is kind of racial, what I'm going to say, but it's stupid too. But I'm going to say why. From my understanding, the both of them were Somalian, right?
Right.
Okay, so you've lived in Columbus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somalians will tell you. I'm not going to say every single last one. But the majority of Somalians will tell you to your face, I am not black. They will tell you that. They will say that shit in a fucking heartbeat. And technically, they're kind of right. Um, from this point of view. Okay, so if you consider us African Americans, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are from a particular area in Africa, the coast, Gold Coast, Ivory Coast, whatever the fuck, Slave Coast, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're there for a couple of different reasons. We're from there from a couple of different reasons. That's the ocean's right there. That's number one. Africa's big as fuck. That's number two. And number three, from that area, those people naturally know how to grow things. Period. So just because a person is from the same continent as you, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the same thing as you. Prime example, a person from India is Asian, right?
Right.
A person from China is Asian. Are they the same thing? Probably not, right? So, okay, so they consistently say they are not black. I've also heard other things that they have said. They say, not all of them, but it's their personal belief, a lot of them, that us African Americans, Jamaicans, and everything that's West African, they have names for us. And they also say that most of us are the product of one night stands. I've heard them say verbatim. So,
Well, my parents was together for months. They wasn't no one night stand. What the fuck you talking about?
they treat their. I'm not saying that they should hit their females or nothing like that, but they're saying they're not black. They treat their family a certain way. They're super religious. They have particular names for us, and he also had a weapon in his hand, right?
Right.
So no, I don't know her or nothing like that. I don't know her. So what if he, gets the upper hand on me and hits me and knocks me the fuck out with his brick because I'm all of a sudden, because I'm a man and because me and her are the same skin tone, right? I'm supposed to just put my cape on, risk my life to save the day. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I don't know. With me thinking of all these things in my mind, if I know everything I just said to you, all those factors I just said, and I see that brick, well, fuck all that. Fuck that small shit. If I see that brick in that hand, I'm gonna think probably twice about intervening in this shit.
I've done it before. I've intervened.
With a brick, with a weapon.
Brick, knife before. A dude sitting there getting into it with his girl outside of a bar. He had a knife on him or whatever the case. Now when I intervened, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as hell, but I couldn't stand by and just watch it happen. And I lied to him. I told him I was an off-duty police officer.
I respect you for doing that.
Yeah, like I've just, I don't know, bro. Like you just.
But listen, bro. Do you got kids, Black?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if that person would have said "fuck you" and stabbed you? I mean, for real,
I'm willing to die for some shit, bro. I'm also the type of person willing to die for the black movement.
Don't say that because that's what you're doing, man. You're doing your kids a disservice. Say that happens. Say everything that you said happens. Just like that, right?
Right.
In your child's mind, they have to be saying, fuck her.
Yeah.
Fuck
They
her.
probably will.
Fuck
They
her.
got a right to feel that way because she
Yeah.
probably got herself with some bullshit.
You do. I mean, I'm not saying
But
this.
they not gonna say fuck me to me because they knew I was doing the right thing.
No. What I'm saying to you is this. Say, for instance, if you do exactly what you just did, right?
Yeah.
And he catches you. And I've done this before too, but this I'll tell you later. But he catches you and stabs you, right? And you die. You have done your children a disservice. You have. You
Hey,
did to save her.
don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't. Nah, bro. I'm a hero without the cape.
Then listen. What pisses me off with her? What pisses me off with her? For real. Like, she blamed the person who didn't motherfucking hit her ass for what happened to her. Oh, y'all niggas was dead.
Hey, if her and her people acting like they ain't black, then they can't say nigga.
Right. He has a weapon. So listen, I've even said it. I'll tell you right now. If what I just said, if all that makes me a whole ass motherfucker, I'm just gonna have to be that.
I can do that. I feel you.
I can
100%.
I can go to sleep at night and just know I'm just weak and whole and scary.
I feel you 100%. Your logic, your reasoning behind it is 100% legit to feel that way.
Shit, because then you got to think
I'm just a softie.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we probably need more people like you in this world. But at the end of the day, I just do not see how any of this shit benefits me. Like, did you get a prize after the shit? Did you get a cookie, a sticker, any motherfucking thing? Listen, do this person right now, is they your Facebook friend right now?
The person I saved? No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, listen, if you were single at that time, bare minimum, they owe you some head.
She was bad. She's bad. But it's cool. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because I just, right or wrong, my reasoning, not right or wrong to interfere, right or wrong to interfere or not, my reasoning was the right reason. I just felt that, I felt that it would have haunted me more, for me personally, to have sat back and watched it and not done anything.
I feel you, and it worked out. It worked out good.
It worked out, and I was lucky. You're right. It's a blessing because, bro, I could have been taken away from my family.
Hell yeah! And then listen, it's always stories about when a person just listen. Even family, I done heard of brothers sticking up for their sister, getting their ass. Even listen, I don't give a fuck. If you hit my sister, we just going at it. But it's been brothers that been sticking up for their sister and shit, and then he get jumped by both of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just tricky, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially with that brick in his hand. Like, come on, man. Now you asking me to get hit with a brick now for you. You holding your shit like this, and you asking me to hold mine like that. Get the fuck out of here.
Thanks. What didn't you touch on? Was there anything you wanted to touch on that we might have missed?
Oh man, it's just listen. This gun violence is getting out of control, man. Listen, right, man, it's just every fucking day. That's all I hear is just shooting. Everybody getting killed. Like, man, it's just sad. Something needs to be done. Like, it's just too easy to get a gun to just shoot somebody. You just get in a little dispute, whatever it is. It's just like it's crazy.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm still here. I'm sorry, I'm fixing something. I agree with you wholeheartedly. The access, like you said earlier, the access to it is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The access to the guns, the access to the availability, the way things are just gone is just so easy. You're right. Growing up, I mean, I thought I had to work. I didn't get to see a gun daily. Now it's everywhere. Does that South, the old South? I think even the South deals with it now, with the fact of ease of access to guns. It used to be in the South, they'd be like, "Yo, you grew up around guns," because that South thing of going hunting and fishing and being able to have, you grew up around it. It doesn't matter anymore because even if everybody's still got that lack of mentality of like, yo, put these up, let's scrap it out. Everybody,
That's
south, north, east, west, everybody's immediately like, yo, fuck all that. I know he carrying because it's the south, so I'm carrying for this. I'm gonna get him before we get me.
but look though, it's the American way. That's how they got the country. So they're not going to never regulate the shit. More mass shootings happen in the South, racial related, than any other fucking place. And all they
That's
gonna sit
true.
there and do is say is, "Oh well, we need to pray about it and ask God and ask Jesus for forgiveness." No, you have to do something with regulating the guns. At the same time, they're not even trying to make these people take like some type of mind test or something like that to see if they should even have a gun. They're trying to ease it to make it easier for them to get the gun. So how is that stopping the situation? You're
It's not.
making it worse. You're making it
I'm in
worse.
favor of the right to bear arms, but I'm also in favor of the right to bear arms in with responsible people bearing arms and making sure that we're putting firearms in responsible people's hands and not just giving it to any willy nilly who just because their age says they can go get a gun. Like that
But
doesn't solve any. That doesn't solve anything. That doesn't make it safer. But that's that ignorant American mentality. Like this whole thing started off of us Americans. We have a very big sense and false sense of entitlement.
mhm,
Um, and we like to say, "Fuck what's better for the overall. What's better for me and my group."
right. Now, I need to keep this gun because all the bad guys still got them.
Yeah,
Why does an average American citizen feel like it's okay to walk around with a fucking AK-47? Why?
I don't know what they're trying to prove. It don't do nothing for me
What I'm saying is, why is this weapon even just so available on the streets?
because America makes you as conditions you to feel that you're really badass because you got a big gun.
Listen,
Because
that's not a gun for protection. That is a fucking gun of mass murder. That's the only thing that gun can do is kill a lot of people at one time. It
bro, if
don't
you
even shoot
walking
one
around,
bullet at a time, bro.
yeah, if you walk around with an AK just randomly, whatever the case, or an AR, even though I know what an AR is,
Mac,
um,
any fucking thing,
that
anything.
yeah, like you just don't bullshit. If you ain't out there hunting, I can even understand if you keep a pistol on you, but you don't need to be out there all flashy with it and all the other stuff.
Listen, anything past a pistol out in public is not motherfucking necessary. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not. And
you
really,
just
for
doing
real,
too much.
right. Listen. There's more guns in America than there is people, and it's not even just a problem here. Listen, the old guns that we think that are like just gone. No, they're going to other countries. All old American guns are all through the Caribbean, all through motherfucking Mexico, all over the world. Why are there so many guns? Why? Why? It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, are you a gun owner?
No,
Have you considered becoming one?
no.
No, I am, but well, I'm more about engaging with my family as well about responsible gun ownership and not just having a gun just as for the sheer fact of saying I have a fucking gun. Not just for the sheer fact of wanting to just wave it around like you just don't care or threaten a motherfucker. Like I'm a true believer. Don't pull that bitch out unless you plan to use it.
Facts.
Um, I am about the way that what the world is going, especially now more so because the way the world is going and how ignorant people are more becoming. Of at least, even if I hope you're not a person that needs to be out and about in the streets, running around flashing it or have just showing it off. So look at me, I got a gun. But having at least one of your home to protect your family, I get that. I'm a proponent of it.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. There's
Yeah,
nothing
there's
wrong.
nothing wrong with that. I'm
That's
bro.
cool.
I mean, you know me. I'm a firm believer in this. I can disagree with something and still understand. about protecting rights.
Right. At your home, you
Yeah,
definitely better protect yourself at all times.
yeah, bro. We talked about this before, I believe. I don't agree with abortion, but I believe for people to have the right to make their own choices.
Especially when it don't got shit to do with me.
It ain't got shit to do with me. Now, I'm also with an agreement with that me as a taxpayer, I shouldn't have to pay for another person's fuck up. If the motherfuckers want to keep doing what they doing, cool. If you want to take it and take it out of with taxes and all that stuff, don't pay for it, cool. But I don't agree with making it illegal. Whatever is their fucking choice is their right. It's their body, their fucking right. Bro, I've been on the end of dealing with 2 women against my choice that went and got abortions.
Listen,
it hurts. I felt powerless. I fucking hated it. But I don't. Huh?
You are.
Yeah, but I don't have the right to tell them what to do with their body.
Right. Especially when we both know that a motherfucker will jack off on a sock and not give a fuck.
Not a fuck.
Not a fuck. So
Not a fuck.
That's the same thing. That's just like saying, okay, well, I just committed murder. I just jacked off on a sock. That's your whole kid right there.
Bang, bang, skeet, skeet.
Right. And we're not even gonna talk about motherfuckers the shit they did when they drunk, probably hit some shit and never talked to them. What's your name? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm scared. Hey, bro, I'm scared to do that. Was it 23andMe? Hey, bro, you got like 5 more kids out there. I just want you to know. I seen two little dudes up here in this area that look like you. Tall like you and everything. One of them got braids like you used to have, bro. He yours.
My dad was short.
Huh?
My dad was, well, he was 5'10", so.
Yeah, so he ain't that short, bro. I'm 5'10". Don't be calling me short, bro. You hurt my feelings.
Compared to me, bro.
I seen a whole bunch of little Reggies up here, bro. They look like you and everything. And they got the braids and everything, cornrows to the back, bro, like you used to look back in the day.
I just got off child support. I'm cool.
No, bro, listen, they look like you. Hey, what that song? That nigga don't look like me.
At all. Oh.
That's your baby. Who that is? That's just my baby daddy.
Nah, man.
Nah, bro, but on a real and honest tip, I'm all about harsh truths and realities. Accountability. I'm also about respect, passion, love, and just realness. And I'll give my all to somebody and support and have somebody's back. I even put my life on the line to protect those that can't protect themselves. Call me gullible, call me a fool, but that's just who I am. But I'm not going to continue to live the lie or play into the bullshit or be so stuck on the past that I can't fix myself together. Be like, okay, this happened. How the fuck do we move forward?
Right. I mean, I feel you, but I'm just not gonna let a motherfucker forget. I'm gonna bring it up every chance I get. I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget. But to your point, though, it's time sometimes to seek action. You can't sit there and just be waiting around for shit to fall in your lap. It's not gonna happen.
If you build it, they will come, bro. If you take upon yourself to build something better for your family, we need to go back to that. I'm gonna say it. Make America great again. America was great when people invested in their family and invested in creating legacies or creating something to pass on to their family, whether it was buying farmland or investing in property. And you and your family kind of running, creating compounds. I don't want to use compounds because compounds always seem like the end of some negative shit. But you know what I mean? Where your family's got a plot of land and you got a cousin over here that's got 30 acres and a cousin over here with 30 acres and 30 acres to this cousin or this uncle, this aunt, and it's all kept in the family. And the land is in the family's name, but everybody got their plot of land. That's how it used to be. Bro, you used to could afford, not afford, but you didn't have to pay taxes for property in America, in most of America, except for some places when it gets trying to stop it now. If you own a home with some land and you bury a family member on it and have a plot on there, you have to pay property taxes.
Free game. I heard that about 2 weeks ago too.
Yeah, me too. And then I did more
I don't know
research.
where the fuck I heard that shit from. I swear I just heard that about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was all over social media and shit like that. But
I wonder if a dog counts in these days. You know, motherfuckers like, it's a part of the family.
bro, listen, don't let me be able to count a dog. Now you're gonna have certain cities that are gonna zone and make it like it's impossible to bury a family member in the inner city or something like that. But if you live on the outskirts of town, you bury a family member, you can very well get out of on your plot of land. You can very well get out of having to pay property taxes.
I should make up my own religion and start a fucking church and get over like a fat rat.
Man. So, bro, before we end this, you got any shout outs, any people you want to pay respects to or send your love or whatever case is?
Oh, shout out to Darian Rushton. Get well, bro.
Get well, bro.
Pillar of the community. You know what I'm saying? Another person that been a victim of violence. He's holding on though. But yeah, get well, Darren. Shout out to everybody in New York. Shout out to everybody in PA. Shout out to everybody in Akron. Shout out to my family in Virginia, both sides.
PA? They do. Is that how they do it? Top and still speeding. Yeah. Shout out to fam and friends. Shout out to my technically he's my uncle, but he's way younger than me. But James Copeland out there doing big things with the tree removal service as well as his lawn care service and other things he has going on in the Yo. He's out there making big moves as well as his invested in a restaurant out there in the Yo. I wish I had the name of it. I'm gonna bring him on the pod so we can talk to him. Shout out to Josh Kowalczyk. I had a conversation with him earlier today. Very enlightening. Shout out to you, Reggie, man, bro. You always provide the proper conversation with the proper context and the ability to have a conversation, whether we agree on it or not. But it always is a conversation.
You too, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. I'd rather not. I'd love getting to do this podcast and shit with you, bro. You educate me as well as rock with me or help me get to the point that I need to be to become a better human being, a better person, a more enlightened person. And iron sharpens iron, so I love that we can have conversations and sharpen each other.
Shout out to my bro, D80. So appreciate it, bro. Anything else?
No, that's it, bro. Thanks. Same to you, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, bro.